Okay, today we're working on the oil cooling system. Just kind of show you what the plan is. This is the Fluidyne, I think 30417 is the part number. So this is the Fluidyne cooler. See, it has input output, they're 1/2 inch MPT, and then they're 12 AN, and I'm actually using reducers because I'm running a 10 AN line. And then there's a 1/2 inch MPT for the thermostat. And I've talked to Fluidyne, and they actually say the oil should come in the bottom outlet or inlet, and it should come out the top. So the oil flows from top to bottom. Apparently there's something to do with air bubbles or whatnot. So the plan, not sure if you can see this, the plan is to mount the cooler right behind the Firebird grill. You can see it right there. And what I'm going to do, this top plate here, I guess that's called the core support, or it's part of the core support. Yeah, I guess that is core support, I don't know. But it's this top plate here. I'm just going to drill, let me move these papers out of the way. I'm just going to drill a hole here and here and put an L bracket underneath there, and you can see how we'll be able to hang the radiator, the oil cooler. Again, see the space here, the cooler, I'm going to hang from L brackets right there, and that'll give it about 1 inch in front of the radiator. Let's see, there we go. It'll be sitting right about there. So there's the inlet and outlet. There we go, you can see. Sorry, I'm not so good with the camera. So that's the idea with the cooler. And as far as routing the oil to the cooler, I got a Canton, it's called a sandwich adapter, so we can see it. Let me get some light on it. We can see it right there. So there's the stock filter housing, and you can obviously see the AN fittings on the sandwich adapter. Canton actually makes a remote filter mounting plate. There we go. That is actually just this piece here. It doesn't have the rest of the filter housing. It's just this piece with 2 1/2 inch MPT fittings. However, when you put those MPT fittings on and then put the 90 degree curved AN fitting to get the oil lines out, the header is too close to put the AN fittings. Because you can imagine with these 1/2 inch MPT sticking straight out of the block and then putting another curved 90 degree fitting, the fitting comes out and bangs right into the header. You actually can't put the fitting on because of the header. So I went to this Canton sandwich adapter, and hope it works okay. High Performance Pontiac used one when they put their Canton AccuSump. But you can see underneath here, there we go, it screws right into the place of the filter, and that big brass nut is what is screwed onto the filter, and you can actually pivot. Let's see if I can hold the light at the same time. This will actually pivot. You can turn it to clock it. You know, you can clock the remote filter where you want it. So I've clocked it to point obviously backwards right here, and I'm going to put some 90-degree fittings. Let's go get one of those and see how the fitting looks, because there's definitely no videos of anybody doing this on YouTube. Here we go. Here's the idea. This is a 10 AN fitting, and I'm using Earl's, here's the diagram of the cooling system. I drew it out. So what we have here, there's the engine, there's the Canton adapter, there's the curved AN fittings. I'm going to run it out to an actual Canton thermostat, and let me show you that. It's an oil thermostat, so this only sends the oil to the cooler if the oil is 215 degrees or hotter. Let me pull this out of here. Okay, this is the Canton oil thermostat, and the way this works, the oil comes from the engine into the top, and you can see there's a thermostat, or you can hear it shaking around, and there's a plunger that moves up and down. So if the oil is not 215 degrees, it just passes right through and comes out the outlet. And we can see in my diagram, passes through, 10 AN male, comes out, 12 AN O-ring, 10 AN male, comes out, and I'm sending it out back to the filter. However, if the oil exceeds 215 degrees, the thermostat opens and sends the oil out to the cooler, and then from the cooler back in to the bottom inlet of the oil thermostat, and then it continues out the bottom back to the filter. And you can see I have my filter, there we go, in from thermostat. So I'm going to put the filter after my cooler and thermostat. Now here's the filter housing. It is a Moroso, very simple idea. Filter screws in there, and you can see the inlet, which I might have a problem here. I might have to change remote filter housings, because the inlet is on this side, and I want to return from the thermostat and the cooler to the filter. I want the filter the last part in the chain. So the idea was to mount the filter somewhere up here on the firewall. Well, the inlet is on the right side. The outlet is on the left. So since I'm returning from the front of the car, here we go, since I'm returning from the front of the car back to a filter housing that would be mounted here, I would want the inlet on this side and the outlet. So what I'll probably have to do is actually put this before the thermostat, because the inlet is here and the line coming from the engine. Or you know what, it's actually gonna have to be mounted, I don't know where I'm gonna mount this yet, because I only want some 90-degree fittings. If it was mounted to the firewall, there would have to be a 180-degree bend to get back down to the engine. And you can see Right there, there's the AN fittings. There we go, from the engine. So let's see. So my design out of the engine was to have 2 of these fittings out of the oil filter housing adapter. So let's see if that goes on. Okay, there it is. And these are swivel seal Earl. I'm using all Earl's components because Earl's, I've never had a problem with Earl's, and that is going to work beautifully. You can see the line. There we go. There's the, so the line's going to come out right here, and I'm going to curve it right up. I'll get those heater hoses out of the way, and it's going to return. This is the out and that's the in, so I'll just have 2 lines pointing vertical. That's the idea. So either this cooling system is going to work right, or and it's really critical to have an oil pressure and oil temperature gauge hooked up when you do this, because or when I do this, because when I crank the car for the first time, I must have pressure within just a few seconds, or I'm messing up the engine. Anyway, I'll post more videos of the progress.